Welcome. My name's Susan Young, Mindful Coaching, and today we're going to talk briefly about holding paradox and what that means for us as we rewire our minds. And if we think of where we started last fall in our group with the Wheel of Awareness and beginning to have a different focus on how do we hold our center of our being. How do we hold our relationship with ourself and whatever spirit, consciousness, field of awareness we hold and build our self-awareness? And I heard several of you say that my self-awareness is more than it used to be, that concept of progress, not perfection, and self-compassion. We know that those are key things to move towards accepting reality as it is. And so one step we do together, and a lot of what mindfulness and meditation is about, is shifting our hardwired negative brain to find what is good about our lives. And part of that is accepting paradox. The human brain, we know this, is very protective of us. Through evolution, it became exquisitely skilled at scanning for danger from our ancestors 150,000 years ago. And this negativity bias kept our people alive all those years ago. But today it can trap us. It feels so real. And sometimes we can get stuck in fear, worrying about the future, thinking about the past. We can be filled with despair or outrage at what's actually happening in the world. So rewiring the brain, calming the nervous system, that doesn't mean denying the suffering in our lives. It doesn't mean a toxic positivity. It means we're training our attention to include also what is nourishing and beautiful and meaningful alongside what is painful. So learning to hold both is a way forward. So when we know we live in a time of profound suffering, the climate crisis, political instability, late stage capitalism, poverty, homelessness, war, mental health crises. The world in many ways is on fire. And at the very same time, we also have laughter, friendship, meditation, kindness, strawberries, music, chocolate, breathing. Both are true at the same moment. Snow falling delicately down around us. There's a well-known Zen story. I'm not sure if I've shared it before. I imagine I have, and you probably are familiar with it, but I'll just remind us of it. So there's a man being chased, let's say, by a tiger. And he falls off the cliff as he's running. He's looking over his shoulder and he falls off a cliff and he grabs a hold of a vine to hold himself up. And below him, there are huge rocks and massive waves. And if he falls, he will die. The tiger is growling at the top and he's hanging onto the vine with his dear life. And two mice begin gnawing at the vine. He is very stuck there, for sure. And then he looks over and he sees a strawberry. It looks ripe. And he leans over and he plucks the ripe strawberry and he eats the strawberry, feeling the sweetness and the delight of that strawberry. It's not denial when we nourish ourselves and we look to gratitude and we look to blessings and joy and laughter. The tiger's still there. The climate crisis is still waiting. The political instability, especially to our neighbors in the south, is still galloping along. So the mice are still chewing, the tiger's still roaring, the waves are still there. But the strawberry is also real. So when we allow ourselves to feel joy, peace, and rest, it doesn't mean we're abandoning or denying the world's issues. We are giving ourselves resources. Or as the young people say, we're resourcing ourselves from clarity and steadiness and centered within ourselves. We can respond from a place of wisdom more often, from compassion and not bitterness and rage, and from a place of courage and not burnout. So there's many responses to suffering, and we need all of them: marching, organizing, writing, helping each other, policy change. The question is not whether we act, but from what our inner ground is that we act from. When action arises from a place of presence and gratitude and love, it can become more sustainable for us and contagious. There's actually a website called the Nap Ministry, and the person on this is celebrating taking deep rest. And she proposes that late stage capitalism, although perhaps any form of capitalism, requires or pushes each of us as individuals to be stretched beyond our resources, to be exhausted, to not be able to help ourselves or others. So she's using this as an antidote, just like joy can be an antidote. So yeah, I'm going to leave that for now. We'll do a meditation in just a moment. And I'll just bring this to a pause.